Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex. This is Big Baby Reviews. Today is just a special quick video, special edition unboxing. So I put in an order for some comic books for my collection and also for reviews because I'm reviewing stuff obviously that's in my collection. Trying to fill those gaps obviously so I don't miss anything in future reviews. Put in this order a few weeks ago with my buddy Nick. He's got a few comics in there. It's one of the few services, MyComicShop, that I've ordered from before, that I've ordered from again. The reason I do that, and I'm definitely throwing out a plug to them for American viewers, but also for our Canadian viewers, because of the shipping costs. MyComicShop is one of the only really services we have access to here in Canada, for back issues at least and stuff, that don't charge an arm and a leg for shipping. And that brings me to talking a little bit about what you see before you hear. So I'm gonna kind of, steal from a political movement in the United States, and I'm pushing for what's called MACA, right? Spelled out here. You probably read it by now. Make American Comics Cheap Again. And this is mostly geared towards Canadian comic book readers, because I don't know if you my American friends out there watching know, but there's tons of great comics coming out of the States, especially on the indie market. I'm part of comics groups online, Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats being the big one, right? That a lot of other creators post their stuff on. And, every few days I'll see something that I really want to order that looks really cool. And unfortunately, the main issue being, obviously, this is an easy way to play with this slogan that's been used for the last few years, and be playful with it. But really, it's not the actual comics that are too expensive. It's the shipping, right? So shipping from the States to Canada always ends up being like this crazy price range. And when we try to order, say, indie comics, Kickstarter stuff, as Canadians, we get fucking screwed over so bad. Prices are shit. Like most of the time, I don't know if the American viewers are aware of this. I think some of them are. Some of the American creators are definitely aware of this, I think, because I imagine you're not shipping much product to Canada, even though there is a market here, a small one, obviously, but there are a bunch of comic book readers, obviously, up here in Canada. I'm one of them. I got all my buddies and some friends I've made through groups on Facebook, and many other Canadian comic book readers from coast to coast. So I'll be pushing this in the next few videos. I'm going to keep this little sign. I'll talk about it a little bit, because there's got to be a way of keeping the costs at least slightly lower than they are now. So just so you know, for an average Canadian comic book reader who wants to order something from the States, most times the shipping is either close to the price of the actual book, added on, right around the same range as the actual book, and in some, not very often, but some instances, it's actually come out to where the shipping is actually more expensive than the actual book and the product that I'm trying to buy. So very frustrating for Canadian comic book readers. But if you're looking for good back issues and you're trying to fill holes in your collection, MyComicShop is definitely the place to go. So enough talking about that. I'll be talking about this in my actual review videos for the next couple of weeks. But let's get to the unboxing now. I guess that's what you're here for, right? So here's the box. Bum, ba, da, ba. Upside down. Let me flip that around. There we go. So all the way from Mississauga, Ontario. I guess they pasted over the original sending address. I'm sorry, Arlington, Texas is where my comic book shop ships out of. So got my cutting implement here. So let's cut this box open, find out what I ordered. Because, I'll be honest, I have an idea about some stuff, but I don't remember the specific list. So always going to be nice. A few surprises, things I've forgotten I've ordered. Well, though, here we go. There's some French complaining for you. All right. Let's see if I can get this open. And success. Now, to make sure you guys get a clear view, you've seen the box. You've seen boxes before, I guess. So I'm going to put this on my lap and pull out comics and put them on display so you guys can check out what I bought. And hopefully we won't have any zoom issues. So it seems like they're packed in a few different bags. Am I mistaken about that? Or, all right, we'll start with the first one. We'll make do with what we got here. Trying to give you a play-by-play. So basically we got a bag of some of the comics, judging by the size of the box and what's left in there. They got the order sheet, and then there seems to be more comics underneath that. So And again, like I just cut it open, but you can see like they really do wrap them up tight. And I've never had issues up to this point of comics, you know, showing up in any kind of horrible condition, or corners haven't been bent or pushed around. The box here has these little kind of corner foams that they put in there, and that seems to work really well as well. That's just a smart idea, and that can't be that expensive, right? They certainly know their stuff, I would say. All right, so what are you going to start with? All right. First of all, we've got some Savage Dragon issues I'm still missing. I'm trying to get the run 1 to 50, right? I'm going to see after that if I'm going to pursue with like 51 to 100, but I definitely want to, you know, hit that 1 to 50. I'm pretty darn close. Not sure if I'm maybe not hitting it with the issues I bought here. I might still be missing a few, but I think I've, you know, with issue 49 here, I remember that one was hard to find. And with these issues, I think I'm pretty darn close to having the full set of Savage Dragon. And again, like I said, 1 to 50. So there's Savage Dragon 37. Like both these last covers I looked at. Really cool. Pulled back shots, pretty dynamic. Good backgrounds. Just checking focus. I didn't do that yet. Yeah, everything looks good. Another cool dynamic shot. 2 superheroes. We got Wildstar here. I guess guest starring in this issue of Savage Dragon. I mean, art-wise, Erik Larsen's, you know, always delivering. Another cool looking issue here. There's a part, like in the early run of Savage Dragon, some of those covers were getting maybe a little boring, but I would say these ones here, and this near the, like, I guess between the late 30s and 40s to 50s, all these covers I've seen up to now look really cool, gotta say. Not sure if that's all the Savage Dragon I got, but that's definitely some of it. This must be some of Nick's stuff. I already have Captain Victory, the whole series, but Nick is into Kirby in a big way as well, and he's been slowly building up his collection of you know, maybe more obscure Kirby stuff. I would say this is from the early 80s, a little bit more obscure. A lot of the Kirby tropes can be found in the series. It's personally one of my favorites, I'll be honest, because of some of the crazy design work and layouts and stuff, and things that he tries in here. He really, it's one of his more experimental periods in a weird way near the end of his career, dealing in abstractions almost, not, you know, going completely non-figurative, if I can put it that way. In this series, occasionally the villains, the insectoids or whatever they're called, I forget their name, but they're cool as well. The visual, again, they're almost abstract, and it's really cool. I do believe this is also for Nick. He's trying to fill in that Fantastic Four run that he's working on. So I think he's got some original issues and some kind of reprints and stuff, trying to, you know, piece together the whole Fantastic Four 1 to 103 or 4, 108, somewhere around there, where, you know, the last Jack Kirby issue, basically, I guess is what he's going for. There you go. More Nick stuff here. Another Captain Victory. Like here, you can, a good example of how, you know, Kirby's just going more and more abstract and textural and stuff, you know. Very, I mean, still figurative. You recognize the face here, but just the textures and stuff that he's using is just, you know, only Kirby could pull it off. And I think this looks great. This looks like some crazy shot of He-Man. You know, I always thought Captain Victory basically, you know, I think He-Man just stole his haircut. This did come out before He-Man, I'm pretty sure. So that's some of Nick's stuff. Some more Savage Dragon. So as I said, most of these issues being somewhere between 1 and 50 of the regular Savage Dragon series. This cover always intrigued me, right? Can't wait to get to this issue here. Like I said, I feel like these later covers evoke a bit more and do more of what a cover should do, which is, you know, pull you in, get you interested in the story within. So yeah, I just feel these, not that the covers in the, you know, early run from 1 to 10, I would say, are horrible or anything, but yeah, maybe not just quite as attention grabbing. We got another cool one here, issue 30, guest starring Spawn. Years ago when I heard there's a bit there where Erik Larsen jumped onto Spawn, was actually, this is more recent, and I say recent, maybe in the last 10 years. I remember Eric Larson, you know, it was touted that he was going to be drawing Spawn and Tom Farm was going to be inking and they're going to be sharing art duties or whatever. And it seemed kind of interesting to me, and I almost went for it and I never bought it, right? And I kind of regret that because now they're prohibitively expensive. They're really hard to find and they're really asking a lot for these issues. So kind of regret not buying that back in the day. Do have this though as kind of an example of Eric Larson doing Spawn, which is fun. Here's the one I missed on my last review. So I used the trade paperback, Savage Dragon trade paperback. I had to do the actual review, but the issue came in just a little bit too late. And again, you know what I think it is with the covers, you know, now that I'm seeing one of these earlier runs versus the ones we saw after, or rather before, those that come after, I think the coloring maybe has a lot to do with it. A lot of dark backgrounds and not a lot of contrast. And I do think definitely Eric Larson's art is more kind of on the Kirby side, where you got to have fairly big, bold, kind of flat colors generally work better on him. So these dark kind of skies and stuff just doesn't, maybe it works good for Tom McFarlane and Spawn and stuff, just doesn't work quite as well here. So I'm going to guess that maybe during that run somewhere, Eric Larson changed colorists, and because he was using Steve Oliff as well, just like on Spawn. Maybe that's why there's some of the similar color palettes, right? Then we've got, again, what I assume are some more issues for Nick, Captain Victory. And then we continue on with some more Savage Dragon. So yeah, I really think that on this order I may have concentrated, if I remember correctly, on just trying to get the Savage Dragon run 1 to 50 done. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of Savage Dragon in this order. And the issues were, I would say, fairly priced. Here's me trying to fill out my Jimmy Olsen collection. Not missing so many now, almost there. If I'm not mistaken, this is the last issue, literally, that Kirby drew. And just to show you sometimes how some of Kirby's concepts in any other artist's hands just doesn't work, or doesn't work as well, for sure. So you've got kind of a shot of Supertown here and some of the concepts that Kirby's been pushing in the last few issues of Jimmy Olsen. And whoever this artist here is on the cover, it does not translate anywhere near as well and dynamically as you know, the way Jack Kirby does it. And I think he's even with these figures up here kind of trying to recreate a bit of that Kirby energy and magic, but just by having them kind of swirl around, it's kind of odd. And yeah, this is near the end of Kirby's run in the 70s at, well, okay, I'm not sure if it's near the exact end of his run, but you know, at least when New Gods was canceled and stuff, he stopped doing Jimmy Olsen, I believe, around the same time, and then moved on to the kind of secondary run of Kirby stuff where you get like the Demon and OMAC and all that stuff, which is great as well. We'll review at some point when I start doing Kirby. And again, the reason for this is that exactly I'm trying to build up my Kirby collection, which is already pretty darn good. I pretty much got most, if not, I mean, pretty close to getting all of his 70s stuff from DC. And then maybe not so much of his Marvel stuff before that, but we'll be reviewing his stuff soon. Another example of some, okay, so this is kind of the Kirby section, I guess, and how they organized it. So once again, filling out my 70s Kirby, not just for DC, but for Marvel. Eternals, a really cool series. This is a great cover here. Black Panther's another cool Kirby 70s when he, again, left DC to go back to Marvel. Got some cool artwork in there as well. Another Nick. Nick's gotten a lot of Captain Victories. Must be getting pretty close to finishing up his run there. So another Captain Victory here. This guy, forget his name, but man, this design, this creature, just, you know, Kirby's still pushing it. And, you know, if Kirby can get in any way more extreme, is it possible? Well, yeah, he seems to do it with this character here. Yeah, these Captain Victories are great. Even a lot of people complain about the coloring on them. I think it kind of works and, like, adds to the charm of the comic. It's got like that 70s, even though it's like early 80s, it's got that 70s sci-fi vibe that I really enjoy. So okay, I did get one actual issue of Forever People. Out of all the New God stuff, the Forever People seem to be the hardest issues to find overall. And I mean, this one, because I'm sure I've mentioned I don't go for like the most mint versions, right? And I mean, what I've got here is a bit of a bump on the corner up here, a few little folds and stuff, but this looks like it's in great condition, and I got it for a really good price, so pretty happy about that. More Savage Dragon, filling off that run. This is definitely an homage to some sort of, you know, 50s EC sci-fi space cover. Can't quite put my finger on it, but, you know, if it's not a direct kind of swipe homage, it's definitely referencing that. Let's put that aside. Ah, here we go. This is fun. Started getting some Quasar issues because I'm going to be starting up pretty soon on, you know, some of the artists that I'm reviewing. I'm going to run out of comics for, so I'm going to move over to other artists, and Greg Capullo is one of those artists, one of my favorite artists still today. And Quasar doesn't get talked about a lot, but I've actually, you know, rifled through some of these issues, and, you know, from the get-go, Greg Capullo had great design and layout skills, and we'll see a lot of that in Quasar. So when I start reviewing Greg Capullo, I'll be starting with that. The Max is another series that, you know, once we get up, I would say like 20 and up, and I believe the series ends at 35. Those issues are super hard to find, so every once in a while, excuse me, if I find one that's decently priced, I get it. So I'll be throwing that into my collection, reviewing that pretty soon on Sam Keith Day, which is Tuesdays. Some more 70s Kirby, great looking Commandi cover here. I love the ape with a headband for some reason. I don't know, like this cover is so like kind of 60s, 70s groovy, I guess is how I describe it. I don't know. Really like it. Is this Mike Royer inking? Certainly looks like it. Pure Kirby. I like this coloring here too on the cover, which, you know, I gotta pull more from this kind of game where the figures are colored, you know, more you know, realistically, skin tones and stuff. Objectively colored, excuse me. And then the background is on monochrome here, so they really pop on there. And it's a cool color monochrome of blue, and yeah, there's something about the color scheme of this cover I really like. Probably talking too long about it, so let's move on. Some more Eternals, some more 70s Kirby I'm trying to fill here. It's the city that died twice. I'm going to assume that the fingers are meant to look like they've been kind of chopped off or lopped off. I mean, if not, this is the height of, you know, squared off Kirby fingers and Kirby's, you know, way of drawing hands like that. It's a very Kirby hand for sure. You can't mistake it for anything else. Some more Savage Dragon. This character's named Dung, so you can only guess as to what all this is. Once again, very much more evocative cover, and we've still got kind of that gradient kind of background that we would see on the earlier covers, but, you know, very dark at the top and quickly giving us a bright color to contrast everything in the middle ground, the foreground a bit more. Very nice. Some more Black Panther stuff, more 70s. Like, I mean, look at these backgrounds. This is before, you know, right before Captain Victory, so you're starting to get a little bit of that, of what you'd see more of in Captain Victory, and this design, and really pushing his texture and his aesthetic to the limit, which is, I think, is awesome. Some more Greg Capullo Quasar. So the style is meant to evoke the early 90s, pretty much, right? I would say the hatching and stuff. But again, the underlying structure, from the get-go, he was just really good. You know, the foreshortening on this figure is awesome. Just that detail of the big open eye here. He's always been good with expressions, right? Even this little kind of smiley fat character in the background, I think, looks interesting. All right, so that's, excuse me, the scissors fell. That's the first kind of half of it, and then we're gonna need the scissors again. They got pretty far back there. So another bag here, packed just like the other one, nice, and I don't know if it's actually vacuum sealed, but it is sealed. So if my comic shop can, you know, figure out a way to ship stuff to us at a decent price, putting out a challenge to all those American creators out there, so I can order your books and it not cost me like pretty much double because of the shipping. If you guys can figure out a way to bring that shipping down just like MyComicShop does, it'd be greatly appreciated by your Canadian readers. All right, so really am noticing and remembering that I ordered a lot of Savage Dragon. Another example here, this was kind of a thing, I guess, this kind of gradient background color. He's doing a lot of covers with negative space, so I guess that makes sense to make it just a little more interesting. Once again, you know, keeping it fairly dark just at the top, not in the bottom, so we get that contrast. Love the inking on down here, very messy and stuff. He's probably using a razor blade, right, to get that kind of thing. You ink first and then you razor blade it. It's an interesting technique. Find it odd that you got a bit on star there. Maybe that's not on purpose. You're supposed to mask it or something. Not the end of the world, though. Mr. Miracle, there's another one I'm trying to close up. I don't have a lot left to finish up, but I don't have issue 1. That's the one that's, yeah, I'm probably going to have to splurge for it. Or at least find a fairly decently priced copy. But most of the time they're, you know, really good condition and pretty expensive. Didn't know Barbaric got a haircut at a certain point. All of a sudden he kind of looks like more like someone in a boy band. It's kind of funny. Eric Larson, his designs, he's got unlimited imagination when it comes to characters. Oh, a little late, but finally found a decently priced copy of this one. Yeah, it's very yellowed. Not in the best condition, but not horrible. Definitely a good reader copy. Yeah, happy about getting this one. I might still do the review, even though we passed all these. I'm supposed to do pit number 1. Maybe I'll surprise everyone, just go back on this one for 1 issue. And then we'll start pitting a week later. Savage Dragon. And now we've got some more cool Quasar by Greg Capullo. And yeah, this is definitely the period where, you know, Greg Capullo, he's got his own style. You can still see a little, you know, signs of it here and there in the way, again, the structure, the layouts and stuff. But the finish is definitely like 90s comics, trying to do the Jim Lee kind of Rob Liefeld kind of aesthetic, right? But he's always been better than both those guys in the underlying structure. So that's why, again, with Quasar, we'll see that. And because it's cosmic as well, we'll see his kind of design sense and, you know, making space interesting and dynamic. And space is, let's be honest, you know, as far as backgrounds go, space is probably one of the funnest to draw, right? Because you don't have to worry about too much about perspective and grids and stuff like that, right? So he really uses it to its full extent and finds really creative ways in that series to use space. Another Commandi there. Pretty sure that one's like pretty much done. I think this is for Nick, unless this is issue 3. Yeah, this is definitely a Nick order here. This was another one that was hard to find and was kind of expensive for some reason, just because you got this, like, I guess it's considered a Dracula cameo or something. I'm not quite sure there. And this is one of those covers where Jack Kirby drew it and then someone else came in and inked Superman to look more kind of DC house style, and it just always kind of stands out, looks odd. I don't know what they were thinking messing with that guy's art. These are some fun covers, you know. Sometimes you order them off online, you don't even see the covers, right? So to have them actually come in and be able to have a look at them real quick and, you know, not just gloss through it. Since I'm doing the review, I do tend to spend a bit more time looking at it. Something that I really like about the colors on this cover as well. Composition, like, look at the different layers of drawing, how many people are in it, right? You got, you know, foreground, middle ground, background, but then you've got, you know, let's forget these guys, foreground, middle ground, background again, right? So you've got just tons of layers of depth here. Really well done. He is the king, and there's a reason to call him that. That's got to be another Nick order. He's going to be pretty darn close finishing up that Captain Victory run. Ah, yes. Savage Dragon eventually got married, right? I'll be reading those soon. Another pretty cool cover here. This is a composition, again, reminiscent of something, right? It's been done before. It's Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four. It's, I gotta think it's a Kirby reference. Not sure, but I know I've seen that before. Back in the day when people didn't, you know, point out that they were copying or swiping or homaging a pre-existing cover. Not shitting on Larson. I'm sure he does it now, but, you know, back then it just really wasn't a thing. We weren't aware of it, right? No internet to go compare and find this stuff out. Okay, a little late as well in my review run, but issue 14 of the Max I guess I didn't have, so filling that hole. Got some more of Nick's Captain Victory here. And finishing up this last little bundle here. That's a cool cover. Mako is always a fun character, this giant shark man. And I mean, Eric Larson's not the only one to do it, right? The Suicide Squad have a character like that too. We got another Captain Victory. Just so bold here. The inking is like so thick. The lines. It's just so, you know, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's post 60s, 70s stuff. There's just something I really like about it. It's hard. The thickness of it, just a different kind of inking on Kirby that makes it even more Kirby somehow. This chicken-headed guy, I remember seeing back in the day. I was always kind of slightly fascinated finding out who he is. I think he's an old Golden Age character. I'm not sure. Or he's meant to be. I guess I'll find out when I read it. Oh, yeah, I remember this kind of run. Someone else becomes Overlord, right? I think I kind of rifled through my buddy's comics who was still collecting Savage Dragon. Look at, like, the inking here and all these different textures on his armor. Really well done. Texture on his face even, right? Oh, yo, I think this completes my Devil Dinosaur run, which Devil Dinosaur is another one that kind of gets mocked sometimes, but if you open those up and look at some of those double page splashes throughout this whole series, some really amazing Jack Kirby artwork, you know. I would not in any way shit on Devil Dinosaur, because once you open it up and have a look inside, you definitely have to reconsider it. We'll be getting a review at some point, so you'll see when I get there. Some more Quasar. Again, once again, if you think my pronunciation is off, please let me know. We'll figure something out. Let me know in the comments. Kind of a slight John Byrne vibe to this, I guess. I don't know how else I'd describe it, but I like to use a screen tone here, which is not seen very much today in modern comics, but screen tone and this kind of half tone kind of deal. Lots of indie comics are using it, and I like it. It's giving comics kind of a vintage look, and it's definitely something I want to incorporate into my work as well, my printed stuff. So got another one by Greg Capullo here, another Quasar. And just this last little stack to finish off, we've got another issue of the Eternals, finishing up that run. 70s Kirby stuff is still, you can get for a reasonable price. We've got, this is kind of a surprise, probably paid a little bit more for this one because it's a McFarlane, right? But we've got Amazing Spider-Man 318. Always like this shot of the Scorpion here. This comic here, I didn't have as a kid, but one of my friends or something had it. Like, it's very memorable. This cover, it's kind of stuck in my mind, as well as, like, I won't open it up, but some of the images inside. And the last one here, this is a pretty cool issue. So if I'm not mistaken, you know what? I'm going to open this one up now, even though I'm going to review it later, just to find out, because I'm trying to remember if I bought, you know, I was always like, whatever, man. The fact this, okay, I'm really going all over the place. In this issue, God, like, says a swear word or something like that, right? So there's kind of the rated R edition, and then there's the censored edition. So I don't remember if I was able to find a copy of the actual, you know, basically he says, God says, don't fuck with God, right? So let's find out if this is the actual issue or the censored version. And I don't care really which one I got, but I am just curious. And again, I got it at a pretty decent price because, yeah, it's pretty bad shape down here, but really not the end of the world for me. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. I'm really just looking for reader copies. And this definitely doesn't bother me so much. So here's God. And I know it's kind of like a splash page of God, and he's pointing at you. This issue looks pretty fun, though. Artist unknown, God Comics. Okay. A word to the wise, devil. I think it's here. Don't fuck with God. All right, cool. So I got the actual original rated R version. Very cool. Can't wait to review that one. That one actually looks art-wise like majestic, I would say. All right, so there you have it, guys. My most recent unboxing from MyComicShop.com. Check them out if you want to order back issues at a really awesome, decent price, especially if you're looking for reader copies. It's the place to go. Nick thanks you as well for his order, My Comic Shop. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're subscribing, you're still watching, and you're still out there checking out my videos, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you are watching the videos but are not subscribed, please do so by hitting the subscribe button below. It's really quick and easy for you, and it really helps out the channel, helps get us out there to other like-minded people who are into the same stuff that we are, namely comic books. So thank you for watching, and have an awesome evening. King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at kingcomics.ca, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.